Hey guys, I'm Allie.
I'm Liza.
And welcome to
Indie Artist Rundown.
In this show, we spotlight Nashville indie artists, unpack their marketing strategies, and find career moves that can help you, the local musician, succeed.
And today we're going to be talking about the use of 2 social media accounts for indie artists and how it can be beneficial. We are going to be sitting down and talking. We're going to be talking to local alternative rock artist Peyton Marie about their use of 2 TikTok accounts and how it has helped boost their career.
Yeah.
And also touch on other musicians that are using a similar strategy and what that looks like. So stick around. We won't threaten to blow you up this time.
Indie Artist Rundown.
So I think that at the end of the day, all accounts or all artists are really focused on building fan connection, but sometimes you don't want to be overly connected, and hence the use of 2 separate accounts, having a private account and having like a public music account. Not everyone wants to see photos of you at your cousin's wedding when they followed you because they wanted to see videos of you playing guitar.
Yeah.
So it is helpful, especially for branding purposes, to
keep that brand consistent.
Keep that brand consistent.
Especially you got to. You
keep
really
the guitar videos here. Keep your high school graduation over there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really interesting conversation because the use of those dual accounts like becomes like a conversation about identity and not just like your brand image, but like your personal identity as well. And like where should the line be drawn? Like, am I like posting too much for my fans, or is like I need to like draw back? Like, where's the line where my own personal identity kind of gets lost into this bigger brand image? I don't know. I think the game of social media is just very, very different for artists at that scale. But then you have the flip side with artists like Peyton, and she's trying like everything she can to put everything out there. To get traction, to build her audience, you know, to get her name out there. And so it's like the social media like touches all spheres of the level that you're at currently. And it's all about your personal direction and your personal, I don't know, like marketing strategy for yourself. So I guess besides Peyton, I mean, like she's a smaller artist, in the Nashville community, but I feel like it's going to be fun to talk a little bit about larger artists on like a really insane scale, kind of doing the same thing. But I feel like also Peyton is kind of unique in her experience about the way that she's using social media.
Absolutely.
And the examples that I've found are more, the one off the top of my head, Pink Panthers. We talked about her in the last episode. Go check it out. She has an account on TikTok called Burt's Bees Saved My Life, where she basically also uses it as kind of like a lifestyle, but also like marketing strategy as well. She actually debuted Boy's a Liar on that account and not her main account, which I think is really interesting. It's funny because like that, I feel like in the social media sphere, like TikTok is kind of the main hub for using those secondary accounts rather than like Instagram. I mean, it still exists on Instagram for sure. But another example is Role Model and Saint Laurent Cowboy.
Oh
which
my gosh.
He like is basically, that's kind of like an alter ego.
Yeah, but it's genius.
It's genius. And like, I think the use of those types of like second accounts, even if they're not being used purely for marketing, which mostly they are, especially in those 2 examples. But I feel like it, again, like drums up the like demand for those artists to release new music and to build their audiences continuously. And it kind of goes back to what we touched on a little bit last episode about like how audiences nowadays, since social media is so like it's everywhere and everyone is using it, people want to know the artists that they're listening to.
People want to connect. And real quick, if you aren't familiar with Saint Laurent Cowboy, Role Model, who's a pop artist, he has taken the time and the liberty to create an alter ego account in which he slanders himself and does crazy stuff. It's like a skit, but his fans go crazy for it, and it's really funny, and it goes viral all the time.
He's such a personable, like, figure. He's so funny. He has such a unique sense of humor. It's kind of more on the drier side.
Yeah.
But I think it's boosted his career even
Absolutely.
more, honestly. And I think that when you hear, like, Saint Laurent Cowboy now, like, you think of him.
Absolutely.
Like when I see YSL, like, things, I literally think of role model.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the whole point, you know?
He's hitting a new high in his career, and I think that the second account has really given him a wonderful opportunity for him to connect with new fans.
Oh, yeah.
And highlight aspects of his personality that his original account, Role Model, doesn't have, because it's more focused on, like, press and tour. And
I think so many more artists nowadays are making, like, vlogs and, like, lifestyle, like, get ready with me, or, like, what Role Model, like, there's a photo of him, like, in a towel wrap on his head, and he, like, has a towel up to his, like, I don't know, just, like, shit like that is personality. It just, like, sticks out in my mind, and being able to showcase, like, your personality and not be, like, super private, like, I feel like is a really beneficial thing. And also at the same time, like, when you get to a certain status, you know, privacy is another conversation of, like, how much do I want to show, and, like, how safe is it for me to put my whole life out there. But I feel like for artists like Pink Panthers and Role Model, like, they are celebrities. Like, if I saw them out, like, I probably
would start
recognize
stuttering.
them. Yeah, but I don't think they're at the height of, like, Taylor Swift, of course, or, like, Beyonce. I mean, those figures are just, like, insanely, like, famous. For Taylor Swift, or even Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo, they have those accounts where it's, like, HQ, you know what I'm talking about? It's like their headquarters. Yeah, those are also interesting. Like, even artists so huge like that are still finding a way to, like, connect to their audiences on a more personal level, even when they are as famous as they are, and it might be, like, kind of like, like, should I be doing that? Like, they're still finding ways to do that. And so there's so many different avenues you can go down with social media.
Really are. And
like,
the use of two accounts, because like, with Role Model, him using it to highlight an element of his personality, Pink Panthers using it to show more behind the scenes of my life, artists like Taylor Swift using, well, I guess she's not okay, maybe not that one. Cut. Artists using separate accounts. Yes, but artists using separate accounts for privacy reasons. There's just so many reasons behind separate accounts that it creates a lot of avenue for growth. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there's those, like, really random offshoots. Like, I found an account, anyone is, like, an Ariana Grande fan. She made an account where she posted photos of her, like, pet pig, I think. And it was and people eventually connected it to her. Or, like, we talked about this yesterday, Lorde, and, like, the Onion Ring review.
Oh my gosh, I could literally get hungry thinking
just,
about
like,
it.
shit like that is so funny. And those people are, like, uber famous, so it's, like, the same thing of, like, those celebrities would not be inclined to make a second account, obviously, for, like, marketing or, like, audience building, because they just simply don't need to do that. But they still are in, like, a really, like, comical way.
If your target audience is 50-year-olds, they're probably not going to be spending a lot of time looking for a second account for you on TikTok.
Definitely not.
But if your target audience is
13.
Who love pop music and watch Get Ready With Me videos, it would make sense if you were an artist to potentially have a second account that maybe does Get Ready With Me videos with your music playing in the background. It's kind of tailored and pushed towards them. Two accounts can be used for very different purposes for an artist at a very established level and an artist at a lower level. An established artist already has a dedicated group of fans who want as much content as they can get. Like, they're hungry for it. Whereas a smaller indie artist maybe creating a second account for their devoted fans when they don't necessarily have devoted fans yet. But Peyton's use of two accounts and almost repeating content.
Yeah, she's using both of these accounts to propel herself basically into more success or more audience traction.
She's using it for more touch points. If y'all don't know about this, there's this idea in marketing of this idea that consumers need 21 touch points before they actively switch from consumer to customer. So by propelling more content, and like people talk about it all the time, consistency, post more, post more, post more. Doing that on multiple accounts has allowed Peyton to kind of break through the algorithm and have it help push her.
Bringing it back to what we talked about earlier in the episode, like bigger artists kind of, their strategy with the second account is more like a secondary, almost not complete separation from their identity, but another form of like output and expression.
I think it's really important to highlight the difference in purpose when it comes to an established artist and an indie artist.
Yeah.
Whereas their end goal might be the same, fan connection. I mean, we've touched on this again, but let's drive this point home, is an established artist has way more resources than an indie artist does.
Yeah.
They've got a label, most of the time, a team. They've got venture capital fund. Like, they're set. It's easy for them to make an account, post whatever they want, because their fans who are already dedicated love them and want to see it all. An indie artist using 2 accounts, they're trying to get out there. They want to connect with as many people as they can. They don't have the luxury of label support. They don't have the luxury of a team behind them. Like,
limited budget.
They're doing everything they can to make as many connections as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to get official in here? Do I want to get official? You know, it would be so crazy.
What?
If Peyton was here right now.
That would be insane.
That would be like...
I feel like we could make that happen.
You know what? I think our
Maybe
brains...
let's just like try like this.
Yeah, wait.
See what something happens.
I think we're on to something here. What? Everybody, please welcome Peyton Marie to the podcast.
Hi, everyone. My name is Peyton, and I'm an alternative rock artist here in Nashville, Tennessee. And I also just released a song called Nothing Hurts Here. So we're probably talking a lot about that today. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, y'all.
You spoke a little bit about being a goth middle schooler in Iowa. What was that like? What was your childhood like? Did you always know that this was the road that you were going to take? Or did you ever like think about being a doctor? Or...
Nah.
No.
My mom wishes.
No, same. My mom's
They're like,
really?
oh, you'd be such a great lawyer. You love to argue. And... So it was literally from middle school, like when I got involved with the East Iowa Arts Academy and I got involved in their band program. I was in show choir too. I was playing piano since I was 5, and like then guitar followed. Like I didn't really picture anything else for myself besides maybe like I wanted to be a like creative like fiction writer in middle school.
Cool.
Yeah, crazy lore drop, guys. I had a trilogy I wrote when I was like 13 because I read Percy Jackson and was like, I can do that.
Yeah. And you're going to put it out one day.
No. That was like the only other career path that I would like consider going into besides music. And yeah, and the kids that I was in this program with definitely influenced like that emo middle school phase. I didn't look it because I was in Iowa and my parents didn't want me to dye my hair. I didn't have any sense of style whatsoever. Okay. And so I don't have any like funny emo kid photos. Yeah. I wish I did. Exactly. I had the Claire plastic choker.
Wait,
that's enough.
It's like intertwined.
Yes, like a little.
Take me back.
Yes. And I had a couple flannels. That's all I needed. There wasn't many kids like me. I'll say that. And I did like low-key get a little bullied in middle school, and then everyone got over. And I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And
character development.
Exactly.
Use that angst towards something else.
Yeah. And I was also in show choir, so it wasn't like I was super popular. So
show
like,
choir.
It didn't matter.
Oh my gosh. Never take me there.
I peaked freshman year show choir for sure.
Same.
I had that one big solo, and that was downhill from there, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I had a little indie phase like all of a sudden in high school, and then once COVID hit, I like rediscovered MCR kind of.
Yeah.
And I full-fledged back in an emo phase, and like since then I've just looked like this.
So as an indie artist with potentially no time and a little budget, how do you use social media to your advantage?
Honestly, I just be posting videos and praying. That's the strategy.
Really what you
My
do,
strategy,
honestly.
praying
That's
to the
all you have to
algorithm
do.
gods.
Yeah.
Flip that.
Every morning I sacrifice a lamb to the TikTok gods.
Yep.
And then I hope that, doesn't rain and that's a good sign that I'll blow up that day. I try to post at least twice a day, really, maybe 2 to 3 times. And usually that's on TikTok. My reels always tank. So I try to post at
Reels
least
is
like
such a hard algorithm to like figure out.
once every 2 days maybe, and I feel like I annoy the people I actually know.
If you're not annoying people, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like part of it.
So specifically on TikTok, you have 2 accounts.
Yes, I do.
Can you please talk about that a little bit? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but they are technically like you're posting basically the same things, correct? Like
Yeah. So the 2 account strat. I've actually talked about this a lot with like my fellow co-writers and just like other creatives, because TikTok is always the beast that everyone's trying to understand, and the algorithm changes. They have to understand again. It's like, why is it not going viral? Label wants this to go viral. How do I, whatever. And so I actually created a second account because I saw this girl named, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. It's like Avery Cochran.
Okay.
And I don't know if y'all have heard of her, or she like couldn't get off my For You page.
yeah,
like,
the name sounds familiar, honestly.
the song is like, now she's twisting, shape shifting on a Saturday. That familiar to either of y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Maybe a
but
little
I'm
bit.
learning. I love to
I
learn.
feel like her name sounds familiar. I feel like I've probably seen her on my
And she
feed
got on
once.
like 8 editorials like doing this on TikTok, and I was like, every time I bring up someone, like everyone's like, who? And I'm like, why am I the only person who like, but like she's only on
Just
my
on
For
my
You
feed,
page.
yeah.
But I like, she like kept popping up over and over again. And at this point, my main account, which is now honestly my alt account, I was doing some research because I also do social media management for other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you blow up? How does the algorithm work? Like everything I do is stuck in 300 view jail.
Yeah.
Like there's something wrong on my account.
Yeah.
Like literally
Yeah.
there's something wrong on my account. And so I did some research into it, and I don't know if it was shadow banned, but because I had this account since Musical.ly was a thing and it was like 10 years old, it kind of was like deprioritized, I guess.
Yeah.
And I had posted various different types of content over the past 10 years to different audiences. I had used the boost option a lot, which apparently if you use that, they'll just no longer push your stuff because they want you to pay for it.
That's so rude.
God,
Yeah,
no.
and like honestly, Instagram and Facebook's kind of the same way because
Freaking meta.
they want you to keep paying to boost
Yeah,
your posts.
absolutely.
Don't know if that's real or not, whatever. But that's like kind of what I was gathering from this. So I was like, fuck it, I'm making a second account. And this Avery girl, I don't know how many accounts she had, but she was posting like 3 to 4 times a day on multiple different accounts. I like went back to the like beginning of the second account she had made since like June. So this song was multiple times a day for 2 months straight.
Okay.
And it got on like a bunch of editorials, and it like did go like viral, which is like the moment that every artist wants, is like one TikTok or a couple of TikToks get like 500K views, and you're like, holy shit, I made it.
Yeah.
And
Labels are going to be knocking on my door.
so it was like that for her. And I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm going to do the same thing. And there's nothing is going to hurt about the second account. And then I was running into the problem of TikTok has now kind of buckled down on, it's called low quality QR, like irrelevant content. And it's supposed to keep people from like copying other people's property and like reposting it. But also it meant that I couldn't like repost my own videos on the second account because it'd flag every single one. So I had to make separate content for both these accounts. I'm like, great, I'm going to find a bunch of time to do this. With the second account being made, I posted like 5 just like TikToks that had no effort in them. I follow the same strat that every independent artist has been doing right now, where it's like, I usually skip small artists. Wait, just give me 2 seconds, and then swipe lyrics. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I used that strat on the second account, and the demo blew up a little bit, and I got like 30,000 views. And I'm like, great, awesome. But like, we got to finish the song.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a demand for it. Everyone's asking where the song was.
But that's beautiful because like something that is so important and overlooked is people sometimes supply things when there's no demand for it. If nobody's asking for it, then you're just adding to the oversaturation.
Yeah.
Having people wanting something,
It's
that's
a good
what you
feeling.
want.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
great
great
feeling.
feeling.
Gotta
I'm like,
draw the
wow,
demand.
all my hard work paid off. You know, people actually
Yeah.
want this song. Crazy. And the TikTok is like helping me, I guess. Like the algorithm's finally for me for once.
And I mean, it's coming from like you doing those like research strategies, which I feel like is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You have to be like your own advocate when you're an independent artist.
For sure.
So I feel like you just taking the time to like, I know you said you do social media as well for other people's, but just to like do that on your own and like do that research, I feel like is what got you to like that a little bit more virality.
And like with the account being 10 years old, another thing I saw was that it's all based on engagement rates and like the algorithm is. And so when your account is that old and you're using the boost option, you're going to get a bunch of bots, a bunch of deactivated accounts, and also people who just like don't see your stuff anymore because they're not like seeking out in the algorithm, whatever. And so my engagement ratio is also super because of that. And I was like, I have too many bots. And I was trying to go through and clear out all the bots. And I was like, get a new account.
I think it's important to highlight here is instead of like one giving up, you took the moment or being like, hey, the algorithm's against me. You took a moment and you reevaluated your content and your strategy, and you went through and you looked and were like, hey, what can I be doing to the best of my ability to make sure that it gets pushed?
And I've definitely talked mad shit about TikTok before. I think I like there was like a podcast I did, and like the episode hasn't come out yet, and they were asking me about social media as an artist, and I was like, TikTok, this, that, not going viral.
Actively working
it was in like
independent
July,
artists.
I hadn't gone viral yet, and I'm like, this, it's not pushing me. And then literally like 3 weeks later, like nothing hurts are blowing up. I'm like, when the episode comes out, they're gonna be like, doesn't seem like it's working against her. Like, guys, for 10 years it was.
So with the account being like a month and a half, 2 months old, what have you realized is like the biggest challenge of having two accounts? Is there a challenge?
Yeah, the challenge is finding enough content to post on both accounts, and it's kind of gotten to the point where the second account that was my main, I'm posting a lot less on there, and I think honestly I might take some of the videos down and repurpose it for the new one, like Fake My Death, Gravedigger, Mouth to Mouth, like a lot of old content, because it's not like doing anything there anymore, but I can't just like repost it without it flagging it, so I take it down, repost it. But yeah, like all of my engagement rates on the new one are so much better that right now I don't have time to post all day. Like I'd rather post the good content on the new account that's getting like way more traction. And all those people who followed were fans of Nothing Hurts Here and fans of my stuff. They went back and found my discography. And so they're actively wanting content from me and wanting more videos, wanting more of this. And on the old account, I got I got a lot of new followers off of it, like maybe like 1,000 from the other account blowing up. But like, it's just like the engagement ratios are not the same. And so the challenge is finding enough content and time to post on two accounts.
So what's next for Peyton Marie?
So I released Elvira, and then I just released Nothing Hurts Here. They're both singles that are going to be off a project I'm releasing next year. Not saying the name, guys. You'll have to wait. And I'm thinking it's if budget allows, I'm thinking it's going to be like a 4-song EP because, again, I'm a project artist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited. I think I really want to keep doing some stuff for Nothing Hurts Here. So I've been thinking about doing either like a live studio recording type thing with my band. Maybe we do like another cover, like a Paramore cover or something.
Yeah.
And I also want to do maybe like an acoustic version, really be cool. And just kind of capitalize on that. I know we're about to hit the holidays soon, so I'm probably not going to release anything else like the rest of the year because I need to get into Christmas music, and that's kind of like a dead area. But the next release will most likely be this next like sophomore EP. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Peyton Marie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
This is a blast.
This is really fun.
Everybody check out Peyton Marie. What's the links to your socials?
Instagram is peytonmarieofficial. TikTok is It's Pay Marie. YouTube is Peyton Marie Official. Spotify is Peyton Marie. Everything is my name.
Peyton Marie. That's all you got.
Peyton Marie.
Peyton Marie.
Let's give it up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yeah. We're just the luckiest. We're just the luckiest girls in the Indie Artist Rundown block because we get to interview cool people. We get to look at fun things. We get to yap. We touched on collaboration in our interview with Peyton. And just want to give a huge thank you to you, my fellow collaborator.
Oh, thank you.
My dear collaborator friend.
That wasn't scripted.
No, it wasn't. We've got a team behind the camera and behind the sound and also other teams. So we want to give a huge shout out to all of our teams. Nothing is possible without our team. As you can see, there is not a one-size-fits-all method for social media and social media success. But we hope that our discussions can provide some insight on maybe how you can improve or even get the ball rolling.
Or at the very least, entertainment.
Or that
laughs,
too.
Maybe.
I hope you laugh.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in if you did. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure hanging out with you on the couch.
And once again, I'm Allie.
I'm Liza.
And this is Indie Artist Rundown.
Yep.
Is that what you said?
I said.
Yay!